Today on Steelers Talk, I've got the latest on Brandon Aiyuk trade news, including a brand new three-way trade idea that you guys are not going to want to miss. And then I've got my practice report from day 15 of practice in Latrobe for Steelers training camp. So make sure you stick around to see how Russ and Justin Fields did at today's practice. Now, before we get into today's show, if Brandon Aiyuk gets traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, we are going to be going live for 11 straight hours. That was my promise to you guys. No matter when that bomb hits, we're going to be going live with 11 straight hours of Steelers Talk coverage for you guys. So if you want all of our free live breaking news coverage on the Brandon Aiyuk trade whenever it drops, make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now and join our family. So let's start here with the Brandon Aiyuk saga, which just continues to go on and on and on. It is now a week since Andrew Filippone originally posted that the 49ers and Steelers were engaging in trade talks that could land the all-pro receiver in Pittsburgh. Now we're getting some more stuff here over the last couple of hours. Start here with a tweet from Steelers Depot quoting Albert Breer, saying the Steelers' offer to Brandon Aiyuk was around $28 million per year. That several other receivers, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, got this offseason. My long-standing guess is that the Steelers would like to sign him to around $28 to $29 million per year. And if the Steelers can get Aiyuk for that price, I think that is a steal. I heard from a source last week that the Steelers were willing to pay Aiyuk upwards of $30 million on his next contract, and apparently what they have come to an agreement on at this point is somewhere in between the range of 28 to 29, which is an absolute steal for a 26-year-old all-pro receiver of the caliber that Brandon Aiyuk has. Adam Schefter from ESPN also went on the Pat McAfee show today to give the latest updates from his end and what he's been hearing, and this is what he had to say. It looks like the focus and emphasis is on keeping him in San Francisco and not trading him. But I would say that this has had many twists and turns to it, and until there's a final resolution, you don't know. But the 49ers want to keep him. They don't want to trade him. They've never wanted to trade him. San Francisco couldn't get the deal done. Again, Aiyuk is the one that's advertised these other places, such as the Commanders and Pittsburgh. He's the one that honestly has been outspoken in the meeting the other day. He was the one commenting about how the leaks in the Niners. I'm just telling you, I don't think the 49ers and Aiyuk are talking that much. I don't. So pretty much what Schefter is saying here is that he kind of refutes that report from Jordan Schultz towards the end of last week that the 49ers and Aiyuk have reinvigorated those contract talks apparently. Aiyuk called out the 49ers on IG just minutes after that report came out, saying that the 49ers keep leaking these stories and these reports, and he's frustrated. He just wants the Niners to make a choice, either pay him $28 million per year to stay long term or trade him to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are already willing to pay him that figure. Now, the big question is why hasn't a deal gotten done? It's now a week since these rumors started popping up again. And the answer here is that what the Pittsburgh Steelers are offering the 49ers, San Francisco just simply cannot take that deal in their mind because they feel like they would be getting fleeced. And to their credit, they probably would be getting fleeced if they accepted the offer that Omar Khan currently has on the table. But the good news, guys, is that a player just became available on the open trade market. Now, even though this team has come out publicly and said they're not trading this player, at this point, I would say that he is definitely a viable option, and that player is none other than edge rusher Haason Reddick. Jordan Schultz broke the news today. All-pro pass rusher Haason Reddick, who's holding out, has informed the team he wants to be traded per multiple sources. Now, the Jets did come out with a statement saying that they're not trading Reddick, but I will also say after everything that has gone on between Reddick and the Jets, it kind of seems like that bridge is starting to get burnt, and I think the Jets will get what they can for him at this point. So here's my three-team trade idea here that could get the 49ers the player that they have been hoping to get in this deal for Brandon Aiyuk and Haason Reddick. The Steelers, of course, get Aiyuk, and they send a 2025 second-round pick to the Niners, as well as a 2026 fourth-round pick, and then the Jets receive a fifth-rounder in 2025 from San Francisco. I think this is definitely a deal that works for all sides. Of course, the Steelers get their receiver and Brandon Aiyuk. The 49ers get 2 picks in the mid rounds here, second rounder and a fourth rounder, and back-to-back drafts. Plus, they get an edge rusher that can help them win a Super Bowl this year in Haason Reddick. And of course, the Niners would have to pay Haason when this trade happens, not make the same mistake that the Jets made by not giving the guy a new deal after they already trade for him. I think Joe Douglas is a straight-up clown for that, by the way, but I think this is something that every team can agree to. The Jets, yes, it's not the value they would want for Reddick, but at this point, with everything that Reddick has done this offseason, I think this is something that each of these teams would accept. So let me know, would you accept this trade and pay Aiyuk? Type A if you would accept it, or type D for decline. Again, if the Steelers land Aiyuk, it would be about $28 million per season on that contract extension, plus you'd have to give up a second and fourth round pick. So let me know, A for accept or D for decline for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. So the reason why Omar Khan hasn't blinked, hasn't moved off of his initial offer here, at least in the last couple of days, is because they feel just fine with the wide receivers they have on the roster right now. Not only is Arthur Smith's offense going to be extremely run heavy, but also his passing game usually runs through one dominant X receiver, and right now George Pickens looks like he's fitting that bill. Not only that, but guys like Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin III, and Scotty Miller are all exceeding my expectations heading into training camp. Jefferson's getting open a lot. He's doing a really good job as a run blocker. He's working incredibly hard. Calvin Austin III looks like a legit route runner in terms of being that guy that comes in on obvious passing situations. And then Scotty Miller looks like a really good depth piece, and you hope that Roman Wilson can come in eventually and be a really solid piece as well in this rotation. So listen, when it comes to the Aiyuk situation, I would still say that I expect a resolution to happen sooner rather than later, because the 49ers don't want this to drag on for much longer, because it is a massive distraction in their locker room as they prepare for what they hope will be a Super Bowl caliber campaign yet again. And listen, I've said this for weeks. If San Francisco is smart, they'll just pay Aiyuk the $28 million per year and keep him in there long term, and then trade Deebo Samuel next offseason. That's what they would do if they were smart. But right now, it doesn't seem like they want to be smart right now. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you want to take advantage of that right now and land Brandon Aiyuk in a trade. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. What's the percent chance that the Pittsburgh Steelers land Brandon Aiyuk in a trade? Put it on a scale of 0 to 100 for me. In just a second, I'm going to talk about our friends at Mando here. And while I'm talking about Mando, go down there, find this comment down there in the comments section, and give me your answer. And with that, let's talk about our friends at Mando Whole Body Deodorant. Guys, Cassie and I just went on a trip to Pittsburgh, and whenever I go on a trip, I never know what to pack in terms of personal hygiene products. Do I bring a tiny shampoo, a face wash, and a body wash? Do I pour my shampoo into a tiny travel-sized bottle? Where do I even get those bottles? We all know that struggle, and our friends at Mando Whole Body Deodorant have come up with the perfect solution. Simplify your travel today with Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that does the work of shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant. You can also use it to create a rich shaving lather for your on-the-go shaving needs. So technically, it's a 5-in-1. What's even better is that it's clinically proven to control odor for 24 hours. Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar is formulated with a gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at the source. Regular soap can't do that because of the pH level is too high, and the last thing you need in your life, guys, is too much pH. This new product is going to simplify your hygiene routine, and it's the only thing you really need to pack whenever you travel. You can also get it in 3 cologne quality scents, including Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, and my personal favorite, Bourbon Leather. So take advantage of Mando's special offer just for Steelers Talk listeners, which gives new customers $5 off their best-selling starter pack with code CHAT at shopmando.com. So me personally, guys, I love using Mando products. I have a big bottle of their bourbon leather body wash at home. It's absolutely fantastic, and they actually gave us some of the products for their new product, the acidified bar, for travel when I went to Pittsburgh, and it's the only cleansing product I really needed to use when I was visiting Pittsburgh. It's absolutely phenomenal stuff. So if you want to get it today, Mando Starters Pack is perfect for new customers because it comes with a solid stick of deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like you can get the mini body wash, you could even get their award-winning deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. Luckily, I have a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market today. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code that equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. A big thank you to Mando Whole Body Deodorant for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. So now let's get into my practice report here on Monday, where, of course, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson took the field once again in practice, and they're sharing first-team reps still, okay? Mike Tomlin did say Russell Wilson is slated to play this weekend, so it seems like Russ is getting the full workload here. He's getting the full gambit, and despite that, Justin Fields is still working in with the first-team offense, and that tells me that this appears to be a legit competition right now, and Justin Fields has done enough to this point while Russ was out to really force Mike Tomlin's hand here and give him some run with the first-team offense and really give him a legitimate shot to earn the title of QB1 for this football team this year. Now, Ray Filipaldo from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported today that Fields is matching Russell Wilson, quote-unquote, throw for throw in training camp practices. This is what Ray had to say about Justin Fields. Russ has looked good in practice when he has had the opportunity to throw, but you would think that that would be his big edge over Fields. But right now, Fields is kind of matching him throw for throw in practice. Those throws over the middle, where there's lots of timing between the wide receiver and the quarterback, those have been really good for Fields. And listen, I completely agree with what Ray Filipaldo had to say about the dynamic here. Russell Wilson has looked good in the time that he has spent with the team, and then also Justin Fields has had some really impressive throws, namely with those intermediate throws over the middle of the field, where he is throwing with precise timing, where he is throwing with accuracy, and he is looking like a legit NFL starting quarterback out there right now. But here's the thing, man. When it comes to Russ having pole position for this competition right now, that means that Russell Wilson's the one that's pretty much going to decide who wins this battle. If he struggles and he loses the job, that means Justin Fields has an opportunity to take the job away from him. But as long as Russ continues to look good, and he has been looking good, guys, I think he's going to be the QB1 of this team for the foreseeable future. And then specifically today, Russell Wilson was incredible in Latrobe. Multiple downfield shots. He had a 60-yard moon ball to Calvin Austin III for an 80-yard touchdown. He had Van Jefferson on a nice 30-yarder as well. He had multiple downfield shots. He was dealing today, and I thought today was his best day of practice to this point in camp. Today, Justin Fields also had a good day, but I think Russell Wilson looked like QB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now we'll shift to a report here from Jerry Dulac, who claims that first-round rookie and offensive tackle Troy Fautanu is expected to start at right tackle in Week 1, despite not being listed as the number one right tackle on the initial depth chart, despite struggling in last Friday's preseason game, giving up 2 sacks, and then also, this is somebody that has not been working in with the starters. So, now that he has suffered that knee injury that's going to keep him out for the rest of the preseason, he's not going to be getting those practice reps. I kind of don't think he's going to be ready for Week 1 in terms of his readiness to play the position. Now, I'm sure he's going to be a starter at some point this season, but this feels like a classic Jerry Dulac talking out of his ass type of miss, okay? I think that he's just saying it because that's what he expects, but right now, Broderick Jones, because of this injury, is going to be practicing pretty much exclusively on the right side. So what, Jerry? Are we just going to move Broderick over to the left all of a sudden right before the season, and we're going to start a rookie at right tackle when he hasn't practiced in the last 3 weeks? That doesn't make a ton of sense to me, and I think that Week 1, we're probably going to see Dan Moore Jr. as your starting left tackle and Broderick starting on the right side. I do think at some point Broderick will make the move over to the left and Fautanu will be slated in on the right, but the fact that Dulac is going out here and authoritatively saying that Fautanu is going to be the starting right tackle Week 1, I think is unfounded. Now predict it for me down there in the comments section. Will Fautanu start Week 1 coming off that knee injury? Give me a yes or a no. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section, because I don't think he's going to be starting Week 1. Another player to be talking about here and something that's worth mentioning is that Corey Trice Jr. seems to be solidifying his role with the Pittsburgh Steelers defense here. He's working with the first teamers. Dante Jackson's dealing with a minor injury, hasn't practiced to start the week here, and Trice has been working in with Joey Porter Jr. as the number 2 starting outside cornerback. And what that tells me is that, yes, when Dante Jackson comes back, he's going to be the number 2 outside guy, but that means Trice has solidified himself here as that number 3 outside corner. He's been working as the starting dime backer when Dante practices. So I think Corey Trice Jr. definitely has his role here. He's going to be a special teamer. He's going to be a dime backer. And then if either Joey Porter Jr. or Dante Jackson gets hurt, he's going to be that first guy in relief on the outside cornerback position. Now, if you're a big believer in Corey Trice Jr., just like I am, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon right now because he's been having a pretty darn good camp to this point and seems like he's making an impression on the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching staff. Another player that's definitely making an impression is Grayland Arnold, who has been promoted to the first team starting slot cornerback over Beanie Bishop Jr. And listen, Beanie, he had a rough game. He had a rough preseason game last Friday against Houston. He gave up a lot of yards, didn't look all that great. He got demoted. And Grayland Arnold was the guy that's been looking really good in camp. He played pretty darn well in the preseason game, and he's going to be getting his shot to be the number 1 slot this week while Beanie gets the demotion. But you know what, man? I think Beanie has bounced back here during this practice period, here these first 2 days of this week here, heading into the second week of the preseason. I think he's done pretty darn well. He had multiple pass breakups yesterday. He jumped a pass for an interception today on Kyle Allen. So I think Beanie Bishop Jr. doing a really good job. He's still young. He's still learning. He has been demoted, but let's see how he handles some adversity. Now, in terms of players that I think should be cut, I think that Anthony Averett, the cornerback, had a really tough preseason game. He's been burned in Latrobe by a number of different receivers. I don't think Averett's got it, man. I think he's going to end up getting cut. They might keep him around for the rest of the preseason, but I don't think he's going to end up making the final roster. And then speaking of guys that did get cut, Kalen Barnes gets cut today by the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is apparently due to injury, so I guess we'll see what that ends up being. But Kalen Barnes did get released by the Pittsburgh Steelers this afternoon. So let me know down there in the comments section who has been the biggest winner and who has been the biggest loser of Steelers training camp to this point. Let me know your guys' list down there in the comments section. Really want to see what you guys are thinking. All right, guys, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already, if you love the Pittsburgh Steelers. And again, if a Brandon Aiyuk trade happens, whenever it happens, we're going to be right here with 11 hours of breaking news coverage. So if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you click that subscribe button right now.